Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Co Council. How are we all? Hopefully, all of you is having a fantastic day wherever we are around the world. Look, I know we are early. Normally, we are live at 9 p.m., but of course, it is the Nations League final, which I think everybody will be tuning in to a bit later on anyway. But we do have, of course, more news around Florian Wirtz and the whole saga that's going on at the moment. Of course, obviously, Germany playing earlier on, which, look, I think, plenty of people saw the qualities of Florian Wirtz, but again, that German team was absolutely awful. Anyway, but we are here to discuss, of course, the bid, of course, the 113 million, not 100 million euro, of course, it's 113 million pound bid that did get rejected. Of course, it is the third bid that Liverpool have submitted that did get rejected yet again. Anyway, which of course I know plenty of people will be fuming just off of that anyway, but we are here to discuss mainly about Florian Wirtz. Of course, I know there is other bits of news going around at the moment, of course, in terms of Joras, of course, obviously Darwin Núñez as well, and Alisson Becker as well, but we're going to talk about that tomorrow because again, just mainly want to talk about Florian Wirtz, and again, we may end up having something later on as well concerning Florian Wirtz as well anyway, but big up Gary as well, hope you're doing well, saying Talia all being Liverpool need two number 9s ASAP. And big up QT as well, saying Leverkusen taking the piss, to be honest, as well. Well, we will talk about it because I think, again, a lot of people having their own opinion and their own say at the minute when it does come to, of course, Bayer Leverkusen and, of course, this whole saga around Florian Wirtz. But again, one thing I will say is just stay calm. Again, the deal will be getting done, hopefully, at some point, over the next 24 hours, 24 to 48 hours, we'll have a here we go. And the deal will hopefully be done anyway, but we are here of course to discuss the Paul Joyce article piece, of course, that he mentioned in terms of a bid being submitted. And again, it did get reported that Liverpool's 113 million pound bid has been rejected by Leverkusen, as you guys can see on screen right now, as it has gone to say that Florian Wirtz, Liverpool's 113 million pound bid rejected by Leverkusen offer, which included 100 million pounds up front, is still short of the German club's 126 million pound valuation of their star playmaker, who is keen on the move to England. If you quickly scroll along, as it does go on to say that Bayer Leverkusen are still looking to squeeze a bigger fee from Liverpool for Florian Wirtz, despite the latest £113 million offer from the Premier League champions. Negotiations between the two clubs are continuing for the 22-year-old, and the expectation remains that Wirtz will complete a record-breaking move to Anfield. Liverpool submitted a revised offer which guaranteed Leverkusen £100 million with an additional £13 million in add-ons, which equates to obviously 134 million euros overall. And it does go on to say sources in Germany have indicated that the Bundesliga club are continuing to push to maximize the financial package for Wirtz, and that they expect another offer from Liverpool to be forthcoming, which again, I think that pretty much reads the room in that regard, where again, Liverpool are going to push again, or potentially already have submitted that offer in, of course. But while there is no agreement on a fee, no medical has been booked. Wirtz is due to feature for Germany today in the Nations League third place playoff, which they did, of course. Obviously, lost 2-0 to France, which, if anybody watched that game, that German team is again struggles without the main players there, of course. But let's be honest, Florian Wirtz was the only guy or the only shining light in that team as well. But it does say Liverpool have been unwilling to meet Leverkusen's original asking price of 126 million pounds, which is of course 150 million euros. And it appears clear that compromise will have to be struck for the 2 weeks of discussions to reach an agreement. Attacking midfielder Wirtz wants to move to Merseyside, having rebuffed interest from Bayern Munich and Manchester City. So far, City are now turning their attention to obviously Lyon star Ryan Cherky, who lined up against Wirtz today, which he did. And again, he didn't have a great game either, let's be perfectly honest. And of course, obviously, it does go on to say more about obviously Shirky, and it said, of course, it goes on about also with Milos Kerkez saying that Liverpool is rated, Kerkez is rated, sorry, at £45 million by the South Coast Club, and the Liverpool sporting director Richard Hughes has been seeking to negotiate that figure down as well. So, look, right. So, with that being said, again, obviously, I've seen people. Hello, Rick, as well, by the way. I've seen people turn around and say, like, "Oh no, Liverpool should get this over the line," and so on. Yes, look, Liverpool will get this over the line. It will get done. There's no questions around it. I think the easiest thing to do is, of course, panic around this situation, because again, you turn around and go, "Oh, we would turn around and go, oh, normally in this type of situation, another team would come in, put a bid down, and then Liverpool look like a bit like fools." But I think for me, one thing to look at is that Liverpool are definitely lucky in some sense that the player has already decided to join Liverpool. It's very much open, the fact he wants to join. And look, of course, nothing will officially be agreed, because look, you look at it. He played today. Liverpool agreed a transfer fee, and he ended up breaking his leg again. That would have been awful, really, for Liverpool to then move on from that. But look, now that he has played, now that everything's fine, things are going to get ramped up very quickly. Like, and what I said earlier on, like, in my opinion, Liverpool, over the next 24 hours, I think we will get some big, massive news on it. I do think we'll end up getting a fee agreed, really. I kind of think there's already kind of been a verbal agreement in place. Again, this is just all based off feel. That, again, there's been some compromise over the last, 24, 48 hours, where we're hoping, that we get a deal done. And I think as of things right now, like, Liverpool are calm on the situation, which I think everybody should be taking that and going, look, if the club were panicking, then yeah, sure, then be panicked yourself. But again, the football club are very used to this again, and it is a world record fee. Or it's a club record fee. Whether or not it's going to be a Premier League fee is another another talking point, really, for that aspect of things. But so going on to what Lewis Steele also said about the situation now. Again, this is what I thought was very interesting earlier, where we take and have a look at Lewis Steele and what he said. Of course, on the bid, they did get rejected, saying the latest from Florian Wirtz told that Bayer Leverkusen are holding out for a fee of £118 million to do a deal, and the German club are braced for Liverpool's next offer. Confidence and agreement is very close. Leverkusen haggling over small details and bonuses, achievable or not. So again, remember that price, £118 million. Again, I think what the general fee would be, I think, is £100 million. I think that is what the standard fee will be. But of course, a lot of the conversation has been around with the journalists and other reporters out in Germany is the add-ons, and it looks like Bayer Leverkusen are hoping for £18 million in add-ons, which, of course, if that was to be achieved altogether, then it would overtake, of course, Moises Caicedo's British record fee, of course, for Moises Caicedo's record fee of £115 million, of course. So look, will it get done for that price? Who knows? Like I said a couple of days ago, didn't I, to you guys, that in my personal opinion, Liverpool would look at that price, because that's around 140 million euros. That then is only 10 million off their valuation. And again, Liverpool seem to be very willing to go to that means. Whether or not they put in a few things that are, pretty impossible to do, let's say, you hear of some clubs that put like Ballon d'Or clauses in contracts, where if they end up winning the Ballon d'Or, that you get an extra 5-10 million. Whether or not Liverpool do that type of thing is another question asked anyway. But again, I would fully agree with Lewis Steele there. I think £118 million gets it over the line, but then it will be interesting to find out then whether or not it is £100 million up front, and the rest in add-ons. I think that's going to be the talking point around it. But as for me right now, I think that is where we're standing at the moment anyway, in terms of potentially where the agreement is. I think that is what we are, looking at the moment in terms of that's the final price, really. Because again, I know plenty of people go, Liverpool should just cough that out now. But again, of course, Liverpool will try and get it as low as possible. Anyway, of course. Anyway, but look, what else do we have? Let me quickly read the comment. Walk Alone Fan TV says, big up the channel. We have to link up soon. I'd rather do a stream together. Well, again, DM us on Twitter. Again, I'll definitely try and get back to you as well. So yeah, Twitter, the God Council, go over to that, and I'll try and get back to you as soon as possible. Big up Harry as well, saying the deal is close. Plettenburg said agreement tomorrow. Well, I'll get on to what Plettenburg said, because again, it is Plettenburg. So we'll get on to that in a minute. But QT says, don't get me wrong, he's a good player, but he's not worth what we are giving. And then they want more as well. I think the big problem is at the start, there was rumours that they wanted above 150 million euros, because again, there was rumours going around, just rumours in Germany, that they wanted a Bundesliga record fee, which of course some people have kind of debated about, because again, Ousmane Dembele's transfer from Borussia Dortmund to Barcelona, checking on what's it called, transfer market. No, it does say it's 140 million euros, which of course that would equal the record, really. Of course, if they end up getting 150, that breaks the record, of course. But if Liverpool do offer 117 million pounds, or 118 million pounds, sorry, that equivalates to 140 million euros, which again, that is the matching point, really, where again, it wouldn't break. Of course, it would break the transfer record for the Premier League and of course the English record, but the Bundesliga record it wouldn't break. Of course, it would only match it. Which again, I think that's what that's what Leverkusen are trying to break anyway. But well, what else do we have? Deal agreed. Deal agreed tomorrow, in my opinion. Hopefully it's tonight. I'm not gonna lie. Hopefully it is tonight. That we do have a bit of news anyway concerning it anyway. Like for me, I think I said it to you guys yesterday, didn't I, that I thought we might have heard something tonight. Again, we may have heard, of course, something related towards the bid, but still having having a bit of extra, because again, look, he's now done with Germany games. He can officially go on holiday, which I think Liverpool are trying to go, right, leave the German camp, fly to Liverpool, have the medical done, and yeah, I think that's the hope. Again, I'd love now if Paul Joyce tweeted, or Lewis Steele, or even Fabrizio Romano tweeted, like, here we go, done deal, we're going to get him moved on. We may end up hearing anything tonight, like 10 out of 10, like we did last night as well. But yeah, it's just a hope at the minute anyway. But this overprice is taking the shine away from the signing for me, because if he flops, it's a massive fail. I hate the pressure big prices add to players. Yeah, exactly. And I think that's the big thing for a lot of people, a lot of players, isn't it? Look, I think you look at over £100 million signings. You look at the majority of them; they haven't worked. You look at Enzo Fernandez, Moises Caicedo. I think Moises Caicedo has worked more than Enzo Fernandez, even though, of course, both of them start for Chelsea week in, week out. Somebody like a Jack Grealish, who, look, I know Jack Grealish has won a treble, but even still, like, what he's got one goal in like 18 months worth of football. I know he's been injured a bit for that time, but even still, like, it's not good enough, really. But again, that's where we look at the price of things. Again, that's how much he cost to get out of Aston Villa, because again, Villa did the right thing. They got a release clause where if a big six club came in, and that was the price tag, and that was a brilliant bit of business from Villa to get that deal, and to get 100 million from from City as well. But yeah, I think it's on an overall consensus of things. It's not just it's a bigger fee doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work. Then let's just say that anyway. 31 watching, 9 likes. Please hit the like. Yeah, if we can get 20 likes, we very much appreciate it. There's 47 people in right now as well. So again, if you are new around here, of course, do hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Greedy Germans. I'm hearing it will take 142 mil to get him over the line. Well, again, I think 118 million pounds. I think will be an interesting one anyway. But big up Martin as well, saying this deal hasn't taken any longer than any other deal. It's just Fabrizio clickbait, making fans feel that way. To be fair, I'm probably a part of that as well, because again, you look at the majority of the videos over the last 2 weeks, it's been Florian Wirtz, and again, I apologize for that. But yeah, of course it will be in the summer transfer window. It is just purely talking about transfers and talking about this deal because it is the biggest deal of the summer. Get that right as well. Like, this is not only like the biggest deal now; it is the biggest deal of the summer. Nothing will eclipse this, really. I don't think anyway, but again, we could be shocked with a surprise move elsewhere as well. But hello, Luke, as well. Mr. Mikel Arteta. They're playing us for idiots. The 150 mil was for the BM. Who's BM? Again, you're gonna have to let me know, but less for everyone else. Too many top players failed due to a large price, but on their head, it really puts them in a heavy spotlight. True, but I think for me, Florian Wirtz is worth it. Like, looking at the numbers and looking at how Liverpool are going to play next season, we've relied on Mo Salah being the creative and the goal scoring, pivot in our team. Florian Wirtz now will be that guy. He will be the guy that the team looks to over the next 10 years. And for me, like, because we've got the video coming out, I think it's tomorrow. I think it's coming out. I did say Sunday, but I know it's coming out. I think tomorrow, where we're talking about him being like a Phil Coutinho, where he is that guy that can drift out left, but as a 10. He could be unbelievable. And I know people, again, today, because I know Florian Wirtz played majority of the game on the left, just turn around and going, oh, that's where he's going to play for Liverpool. It's like, no, he's not. He's not going to play there. Look, he could play some games there, but as a majority package, he's not coming to play on the left wing. He's coming to play as the number 10 and be that guy that's the creative force for Liverpool for the next couple of seasons, while you've also got Luis Diaz or Cody Gakpo on the left of him, Mo Salah on the right of him, and hopefully a new striker in front of him as well. And that's the hopeful dream anyway, to be fair. But what else do we have? Because the chat's just scrolled up and I need to scroll all the way back up. Big up John as well, saying we just need to get this deal done hopefully soon and focus on another signing as well. Yeah, there'd be plenty of time for that. Anyway, but look, we'll have to wait and see. Because again, I don't think we'll get signings done now. I don't think we'll get signings in terms of, we'll sign Wirtz, we'll sign Kirkes, and then, there's just one straight up the door again. Liverpool will have to sell next. I think people have to be cautious about that, because there will be that time of, people will turn around and go, look, Liverpool are taking forever to get a deal done later on the transfer window, and people will become impatient. Look, Liverpool just signed 3 top-class players in Florian Wirtz, Jeremy Frimpong, and Milos Kerkez. When them 2 deals are done, again, Liverpool are going to have to sell first before we buy again. And it's not the sense of like, we have to sell to buy. It's just that's the fact Liverpool will start thinking about selling. Really, and that's the way it goes. But it's why I think the 35 million we give for Maka was one of the best ever. Yeah, it was one of the best for sure. But to be fair, we did that deal months in advance. Like, we did that deal back in, what was it, the January or the February of that season, because again, teams were starting to find out he had that release clause. as well. But again, Maka was an unbelievable signing, of course. I think was it 2 years to the day now since we signed him. Unbelievable player. And look, long may he stay at Liverpool for a fair few years to come. Anyway, but the deal is very close by Sky Sports News. Yeah, again, Florian Plettenburg. Well, we'll get on to what Plettenburg has said in a minute. Let me just get through the chat in a minute. But meanwhile, what the hell is happening with Kirkez? Well, big up Ozan anyway. But yeah, the Kirkez deal, I think we'll get some sort of double here we goes or announcements anyway over the next couple of days. But yeah, no, it's just price points at the minute with both deals really. But I'm just glad the Coutinho money getting spent at last. Yeah, don't mention that to rival fans anyway. But hopefully it doesn't knock him as he flows like VVD and Ali did. Yeah, true. Big up Luke as well, saying this isn't true. The deal is imminent. Florian Wirtz even said it'll be done in the next day. Yeah, no, it will be done. Like, look, it's 100% true that Liverpool have had the bid rejected. Liverpool have had 3 bids rejected as of things right now. But the problem is the English journals again are behind. They are behind in the news. The number one people to listen to at the minute are the people closer to the situation, like in terms of the German journalists. Again, Kicker are reporting things 3 or 4 hours before even before anybody else is reporting it, and then it's getting told that again that things are getting quite close, and you look at it and go, for me, I do genuinely think we turn around and we'll have something done in the next 24 to 48 hours. But again, they will be the first people to report on it in terms of Wirtz getting done, because again, Kicker mentioned on Friday that something had been done. There had been conversations and a deal had got very close, and then it ended up being the case where I think it was David Ornstein and Paul Joyce were confirming that it had happened. So yeah, it's quite funny, but who knows anyway. But deal's very imminent. Yeah, true. Yeah, you've seen the PSR chart. We aren't even in the top 10. So yeah, I don't believe that Athletic won the chart that was going around on social media. I don't believe it. Again, I've seen the whole Chelsea are on top and whatever, and Chelsea are probably on top because again they've got around the whole situation really. But for me, I just don't think I generally just don't think it's as cut and dry as what that graph really showed it, because it was quite funny where it showed Newcastle and Aston Villa quite not super high on the list, but fair up. But again, they were marked as yellow because again of PSR. But yeah, I just don't think, as the rules are at the minute, just sell your women's team or sell your hotels to yourself, and that gets you out of PSR anyway. But because everybody is talking about it, then let's get a Florian Plettenburg piece up. So this is what he did turn around and say on Sky. Of course, I did watch it before coming on the show. But again, this is what he has had to say on the Florian Wirtz deal. He said, I expect the medical to take place in the next days as we expect a total agreement between Liverpool and Liverpool FC and Bayer Leverkusen in the next 1, 2, or 3 days. There has been a fresh offer in the last 2 days, and the total package is now almost 150 million euros. With a big package of possible add-ons included. We didn't get the confirmation 2 days ago for the full agreement, as some more details, some more figures have been clarified, but Florian Wirtz is totally convinced that the deal will happen in the next days. I'm sure that we can report about a done deal in the next week. So again, that's what he's come out and said. In relation to it, but again, it's exactly what we said in terms of, again, that 113 million pound bid was put in at the start of the week. That was what that's what we know of. That's already been confirmed by Kicker themselves. That the 113 million pound bid was put in at the start of the week, got rejected. Liverpool and Leverkusen had talks on Friday that again saw the valuation of 20 million euros between Liverpool and Leverkusen was brought down in conversation, and now again there's going to be an agreement over the next 24 to 48 hours, and that's where we currently are at the moment. And look, hopefully we'll have, there'll be breaking news tonight after the footy, but for me, again, I would most likely expect it tomorrow, now that we're going to have again all the breaking news from Fabrizio Romano, David Ornstein, all these people, because again the only English journalist, that confirmed the £130 million bid was Paul Joyce, and then of course other people start talking about it, like again Lewis Steele, but again there's quite clearly been heavy talks over the last week, and it seems to be we do have a bit of compromise there really with this deal anyway. But so does this mean Paul Joyce is just playing catch up? A little bit, yeah. Like it is a little bit, but again, Paul Joyce is Liverpool's most reliable journo, I would say probably, but again I think people like Lewis Steele and like that as well is also in that category as well, but has to be close if Plettenburg expects a medical soon. This guy got exposed by Wirtz himself. Yeah, exactly, and that's why I would take it with a pinch of salt where he comes to it, because again, him, even Romano turning around and saying like, no, Florian Wirtz never asked Liverpool for the number 10 jersey, and again, where Plettenburg got that from, again, only he can answer that really. But look, it will happen, but it's just when will it get confirmed? Again, it's over the next couple of days. But that extra $5 million deal will be done. Yeah, exactly. The bid hasn't been rejected, by the way. If you didn't know, Sky Sports confirmed it, and Fabrizio would have said it got rejected. So hang on, let me get this freaking article piece back up so people can actually see it. From Paul Joyce. Again, it's not Romano saying it, it's Paul Joyce saying it. I know you're not saying Charlie anyway, that Romano is saying it's rejected, but still, like, let me quickly get this up so you guys can see it. So you guys don't know what I'm, again, not replying to anyway, but yeah, as you guys can see from that, again, Liverpool's £113 million rejected by Leverkusen. So again, it's Joyce saying it, but yeah. But what else do we have? Most reliable generous use of Jesus Christ. Until Indy Keller confirms it, I don't believe anything. Oh, God's sake, Martin, you're gonna absolutely cause an absolute havoc. Anyway, but no, pick up Indy Keller anyway. But this will definitely happen, guys. Let's stay positive. Yeah, exactly. It's not like, again, I'm not saying this to be negative, and it's nothing to be negative about. It's the fact that, again, Liverpool are showing ambition to get this deal over the line, and Liverpool will get this over the line as well. And look, well, it's 100% going to happen. There's no turning around of like, oh, the deal's not going to happen. It's 100% going to happen. Florian Wirtz wants to play for Liverpool. Again, to go back onto what Lewis Steele said, Florian Wirtz will be a Liverpool player. Milos Kerkez will be a Liverpool player. It's just, again, they're sorting little details out, and then it will be done. So, again, calm down, everyone. But what else do we have anyway? But Paul Joyce is not reliable as an Everton fan. For one, he only copies Romano, does not find things out, as well, says Charlie. But he is just Joyce. Well, Joyce is, well, I think Joyce is reliable as well. But yeah, again, that's just my opinion anyway. Hopefully £180 million gets accepted, but hopefully buying James, or pick up James anyway. But choice number one for Liverpool news, Romano news. Again, the journals I would turn around and say they're reliable. I would say Romano is up there because he has got a few things right this summer by himself. You got Romano, you got Ornstein, you got Joyce, you got Lewis Steele. Like, these are the names I'd look to for Liverpool news anyway. But yeah, that's just my opinion. How has bloody Andy Keller grown a following of hundreds of thousands? Well, to be fair, the game's the game, Ozan, as well. Where am I from? Birkenhead. No, I'm joking. No, I'm not. No, Wales, unfortunately, mate. Might have Atlanta, Wake, Hampshire. Again, don't know what that's for, Luke, but big up Luke anyway. But yeah, that's the main one anyway. If anybody's just tuning in, is the fact that Liverpool's 130 million pound bid has been rejected by Leverkusen. But still, as far as a deal to get done, again, it will definitely be getting done over the next 24 to 48 hours. But let me just quickly see if there's any other news regarding Florian Wirtz, because I do have the spreadsheet open for the news, but there's no new reports anyway. Because again, we was going to talk about Darwin and of course the whole Victor Osimhen bit as well. But yeah, the whole Saudi thing at the moment with, obviously Victor Osimhen's not going to Saudi now, is he? So there's been a lot of conversation about where, who are Al Hilal going to go for. We put on Twitter straight away, it was like, oh yeah, I think we know a striker that they can have for the right price, of course. But by the looks of it, they're going to have to Victor Gyökeres, which, if that was to happen, is completely mental. Anyway, but a big up LB as well, saying Leverkusen are fleecing Liverpool as well. I don't know about fleecing. I don't know. For me, I think Wirtz will work out perfectly well. Anyway, but Wales. Wales, nice. I'm from Ireland as well. Again, QT, I don't know if you know Bry. Well, again, I'm not saying because, Irish, for example, but the Irishman as well. Obviously, I think Bry sometimes in the chat. He might be in here now. But again, go over to Bry's channel, of course, because I think Bry does, I think, 3-4 hours of like call-in shows as well. So again, QT, go over and check Bry's channel out as well. I think if you type into, hang on a minute, because let me check YouTube so I can get Bry's name right, because again, I could be saying one thing and the other thing's happening. Yeah, so Anfield Irishman. So type that in. I think Bry goes live at 20 to 8 as well. So go and check Bry's channel out there as well. But again, in terms of Wirtz, sorry, the one thing I would just say is just calm down. Again, the deal will be getting done. Again, you've got every Liverpool journal confirming it, that again something will get done over the next 24 hours. Again, Lewis Steele mentioned it again, that again Liverpool will get it done over the next 24 hours. And we just have to wait and see, because I think we could just wake up tomorrow morning and it could just be deal agreed, for X amount, and medical is planned for tomorrow. But I would say Wednesday could be the day that we see Florian Wirtz in Liverpool kit. But we'll do, buddy. First, I hear the film as well. Yeah, no, Bryce are very good. Obviously, Bryson, you have quite a lot. But I think Wirtz will make supports like shine. Yeah, absolutely, he will. Look, bringing in Florian Wirtz will be, of course, Liverpool's superstar signing. Every top club has had one of those, apart from Liverpool. Because again, City have had somebody for over 100 million. City have had one with Jack Grealish. Obviously, Chelsea have had one with Enzo Fernandez and what's his name? Moises Caicedo. I forgot his name then. Sorry. Arsenal have had it with Declan Rice. The only one that hasn't had it really is Manchester United. But again, they've had very top, expensive signings like Paul Pogba, Anthony, for example, in the past. Even I think Højlund cost in the 80s as well. Spurs are the only ones that haven't really. But again, Liverpool, easily this deal eclipses anything we've done. Whether or not you believe, obviously, the Darwin Núñez final transfer fee, or of course, again, as everybody sees Virgil van Dijk as Liverpool's record signing, again, they completely clips it, really. And again, if Florian Wirtz lives up to what Virgil van Dijk has done for Liverpool, then yeah, it's it will be a very special signing, of course. Anyway, but again, the one thing I would say is that when people, again, we spoke about it a bit in this show, where people will question it, of course, because it is a huge transfer fee. The only thing I will say is that these guys, again, the data said that Virgil van Dijk was the right guy. Data said Alisson Becker was the right guy. Trust in these types of people, because again, they know at best. And you look at Florian Wirtz and what he's done in Germany, it's quite not similar, but it gives off the same type of vibes of what Kevin De Bruyne did at Wolfsburg before he joined Manchester City. And then, of course, he absolutely excelled in the Premier League and become the Kevin De Bruyne that we know that's leaving the Premier League. But that's the other thing for me, where you look at it and go, over the next couple of seasons, Wirtz will get better and better and better. And the fact he's only, 22 as well, look, Liverpool have got a top-class player for the next 10 years plus as well. So that's exciting in itself anyway. But he's already on the plane. The rejection is from 3 days ago. Yeah, well, so we believe anyway. Has he anyway? But seen the news yesterday where Wayne Núñez could be given his last chance. Look, I think if an offer comes in from Saudi, he's gone. But in also saying that, if Al Hilal don't come in for Darwin Núñez, then he's not going to Saudi, because every other top team that has the big cash out in the Saudi Pro League has a striker. They have, they don't need Darwin Núñez. So, does Liverpool then look at the rest of Europe? Do Liverpool use Darwin Núñez in a, kind of a trade, really? I think that's a question mark, really. But again, they're currently looking at strikers. If Darwin Núñez is the guy that they go for, we'll definitely hear over the next couple of days, of course, the next day, because they want to sign somebody ASAP. And yeah, that's obviously the question mark, really, for obviously another day anyway. But Con, do you rate Gonzalo Ramos? From what I've seen of him, not really, but again, that's very limited time. Bedtime now, can't get off stream. It's not bedtime. Anyway, but I'm going off now in a minute. I'm just double checking if there is any more news in regards to Florian Wirtz or anything else, because guaranteed go off stream, then news breaks. Anyway, but let me double check before we do shoot off. No, that's revolving Gyökeres, and that is not about Florian Wirtz. So yeah, like I said, if anybody's just tuning in, of course, Paul Joyce's article from last night, of course, talking about the rejected bid from by Leverkusen to Liverpool. Again, Liverpool's £113 million bid is rejected. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. And hopefully over the next 2 or 3 days, we'll have him in a Liverpool shirt anyway. But you wear glasses, go away. That was mean, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm probably going to get abused now in the next 10 minutes by you lot anyway. But look, hopefully you guys have a fantastic rest of your nights anyway. If there is any news that changes, then again, we'll be live for it. And yeah, hopefully you guys have a fantastic rest of your nights anyway. Yeah, Jesus Christ, Mikel Arteta. Anyway, Luke's just a Leyton Orient fan. I wear glasses. Well, I'm just winding Luke up. I don't mean anyway. I've got glasses as well. They're in the drawer, but they should really wear because of the light for my eyes. But yeah, I never wear them anyway. But yeah, hopefully you guys have a fantastic rest of your nights anyway. And yeah, any bits of news, we'll be live for it anyway. But I've been Connor from the Cup Council. We'll see you guys later on. Ta-ra.